You're watching Chick-fil-A Overtime with me, Corey Miller, on Watch Fox.
What are you counting me down for then?
We are live at Harry Perone Stadium, Spring Valley High School on Thursday night football. Due to the weather, as you can see, some rain and some wind blowing right now. And you heard our chief meteorologist, Sammy Rothenberg, talk about that. But we here, Spring Valley took on White Knoll tonight. Joining me right now, head coach Robin Bacon, Jim Baxter, my normal guest guys. For you, Coach, a crazy night, a cold night. I know not the best of mood, but I appreciate you hanging out here with us in this cold, frigid weather here. But tough night and a 28-21 overtime loss.
Yeah, it was. You know, our kids really played hard. You know, we had the lead late in the game, you know, kind of forfeit, you know, about 3 minutes left in the game, being up 21-14. They got to go 80 yards. You know, their kid makes a great play on a 4th and 4. You know, kids are battling. They're playing hard, playing good enough to win. It was a tough overtime loss.
Well, it's been kind of the story for the last 3 ball games. You started out on fire, and in the last 3 weeks it's been, you know, special teams, a fumble here, just a mistake there. You've been in the games, so just not finishing.
Yeah, that's what we spoke about last week with our seniors. We said, you know, the biggest thing is we got to make, you know, make fewer mistakes, capitalize on situations, and we got to finish at the end of the game. You know, like you said, the last 3 games we've had chances to win. We've had the lead and let it slip through our fingers, but our kids are competing. They're playing hard, and, you know, they're heartbroken. They were in the locker room afterwards. I had to give them a pep talk, and, you know, we got great leaders. They know what we got to do. And, of course, the most important thing is we play Blythewood next week with Region starting.
That's going to be another big ball game for you, and that's what you want to do. You want to finish the season strong. Is that the message you're giving to them right now? Let's get in the region play. Let's do our business. We've seen that we can play in these games. You just got to, you know, minimize these mistakes.
Well, I think that's the biggest issue, and I think the most important thing is we're getting a lot of kids back. You know, we've had a lot of kids, 5 or 6 starters out. We're going to get the majority of them back next week. Probably could have played a few of them this week. Didn't want to take a chance on the importance of Blythewood, but you know, I think it's going to be a big game for us, and so our kids know what it is, and they know what's expected. We're going to have to win 3 in the region, and you know, it's a tough region, but I think our kids are ready to play.
Coach, you mentioned Blythewood next week. What do you know about Blythewood right now? I know that you mentioned earlier you're going up to watch film, start watching film tonight on Blythewood.
Yeah, I mean, Jim, you know, because we work with him. David Israel's a fantastic quarterback, probably one of the best quarterbacks in the Midlands, if not one of the best in the state's got a strong arm, got a great group of receivers. You know, play a very good game, spreading the ball around and getting it in there. And he's a tough player, and we got to play a little bit better in the secondary. So we're going to have to change some things up this week and try to get after him a little bit more. And I think that's going to be the big key, is really put some pressure on David and trying to force him to pass the ball a little faster than what he likes to.
RJ, your son, 2 touchdown passes tonight. And you good when you throw the balls, a high completion percentage. Are we going to see any more passing out of this offense? Because it seems like people are playing 8 men in the box, 9 even, going one-on-one on the outside, and you got guys like your son, RJ, who's able to make those big plays.
Yeah, you know, we wanted to throw the ball a lot more today. I think the weather conditions were pretty tough to try to throw it. We were having balls, you know, slipping out of our hands. Of course, you know, White Knoll did too, but they made some great plays. But we're going to have to throw it. We're going to have to keep people out of the box. You know, I think the biggest thing right now for us is trying to be as much for us keeping people off bounds. We got to throw them first down, run on second down. We've got to do some things that kind of mix some things up. And I think, you know, with the weather conditions being like they were tonight, it's tougher to throw it. But he did have a great game and you know, and played really well, and he's played well all year.
Now, overall, in your first year, I mean, what has the experience been like for you? I know you've been a head coach before, excuse me, but this year, been around this program for so long as offensive coordinator, now being the man in charge, how's that been for you?
You know, it's been fun. It's challenging. It's a lot of hours that you got to put in. You know, I've got a great staff that works extremely hard. We got good kids that are here. There's been, you know, obviously there's been a lot of great leaders. Christian, John Miller. I mean, you know, Josh Harlan, some guys that have been through here. You know, they've showed tremendous leadership, and we've really got to have some guys step up and take that leadership role. They've been very blessed to have some good kids that play before them, and for us to go on, I mean, we're going to need that leadership to step up here.
Yeah.
Coach, knowing where you're at right now, preseason, are you doing the things you wanted to do, you expected to do at this point in the season, or what are some things that you need to still work on?
Well, I think, you know, the biggest thing is we got to get off the field on defense. You know, we've kind of extended some drives, probably on some broken plays, and you know, their kid today, the quarterback, made some great plays and, you know, kept some drives alive. You know, I think offensively we've got to get, you know, a little bit better in our reads, you know, on the option. You know, that's something that we've worked on. We've gotten better, but we've got to keep on improving. I mean, if obviously we're going to run the option, we've got to read it, make good decisions. So, you know, it's growing. We're getting better every week. We just got to be able to finish. You know, we start off 3-0 and lose 3 tough games in a row and having chances to win. You know, our kids know what they need to do. And we've got a great group of seniors. They're going to come back tomorrow. We're going to watch some film to get ready for Blythewood.
Well, Coach, it's been tough for you. I know tonight coming out here and being in this frigid weather and cold and wet, but this team I think, is on the right path, and they're going to find a way to finish strong. I know you need to go watch some film. I appreciate you hanging out with us.
Well, I want to appreciate all that you and Jim do. You got a great show here. It's been terrific for high school sports. I mean, this is what big-time football high school is supposed to be like when you have shows like the ones that you do and the great coverage you guys do. You're very knowledgeable, Jim and Corey. Jim's been around a long time. Corey, of course, you too, and you're familiar with this program. And I can tell you every high school coach appreciates all you do. It's
we love doing it, Coach. Appreciate your time. Well,
I appreciate it. Thank you,
we're going to come back and do some highlights, some more high school football action in the Midlands when we return live from Harry Perone Stadium at Spring Valley High School. Highlights coming up next right here on your Chick-fil-A Overtime.
Don't miss the newest Friday night high school football show in the Midlands, The Fifth Quarter with Derek Phillips, each and every Friday night at 11 for the latest high school football highlights, scores, and more. Plus, join the action by shouting out your school using the hashtag WACH5QTR. The Fifth Quarter, Friday at 11.
Right here, it's
Mike, Max, Caroline.
Mike and Molly and Two Broke Girls back to back.
Two Broke Girls, followed by Mike and Molly, tonight at 11:30.
Love that backyard grill taste? Try the Grilled Chicken Club, only at Chick-fil-A.
George Sink fought for our country, and now he fights for you.
Marines have a habit of once a Marine, always a Marine, and we take care of our own. So that gave me a little bit of instinctive courage to give him an opportunity to take my case.
Call 1-800-849-SINK.
So simplified, that means always faithful. So another Marine dealing with another Marine, I felt comfortable, I felt good.
And he paid the price a long time ago for our freedom.
It's just like talking to my best friend.
1-800-849-SINK.
We look out for each other.
Stay on that one.
Sometimes it's hard to catch all your favorite shows.
You're killing me, Dad.
Give me that, please.
With Time Warner Cable's enhanced DVR, you can record up to 6 shows at the same time. Plus, you can record in one room and watch in another, so you can enjoy TV on your schedule.
Welcome to the future.
Yes, welcome.
Get over 200 HD channels, internet, and unlimited calling for $89.99 a month. Time Warner Cable.
You're watching Chick-fil-A Overtime with me, Corey Miller, on Watch Fox. Chick-fil-A Overtime live at Spring Valley High School, Harry Perone Stadium. Corey Miller, Pastor Payne, now joined only by Jim Baxter of SC Varsity. And a wet, cold, frigid night. You can see this guy. He needs to man up. He's out here wet. He's cold. He's crying the blues.
Hey, I was over at a game that it was pouring down rain, okay? You were over here in the dry spot, and I'm still soaking wet.
Well, let's go to some highlights, shall we? What about Camden and AC Florida tonight? Again, games moved because of the inclement weather, the rain, storms coming through. But AC Florida, a tough loss last week. They hoping to bounce back, Jim, this week against Camden. I think a team, everybody thought that AC Florida would have an easy time winning this game, but it was about turnovers, a ton of turnovers in this football game. AC Florida comes up short, 27-12.
Yeah, turnovers, and the same problem they had last week. They're banged up on the defensive side of the ball. I talked to Reggie Shaw last week. One of the reasons they went for the 2-point conversion last week was because they were injured on defense, didn't feel like they could stop Airport in overtime. So now this week, same problem, still banged up on defense, and now they add to that turnovers, and it's hard to overcome against any team.
And we saw this tonight. I mean, anytime you got wet weather, you know, sloppy fields, you got to hold on to the football, and it seems to be the case for AC Florida tonight. A ton of turnovers. I mean, they lose by a couple of touchdowns, 27-12. That should not happen. In Skeezer tonight, Hammond, they were in action. Eric Kimmy trying to stay undefeated. Lawrence Manning coming in this ball game with one loss, hoping to compete, but Jim, it would not be the case. 36-0. I mean, Hammond just rolling through Skeezer.
That's an impressive win. Lawrence Manning's a pretty good football team. Got a great coach, Robbie Briggs. They've got one of the top Skeezer players in the state, and they come in here. I expected it to be a more competitive game. Thought Hammond would win, but thought it would be more competitive. But Hammond really flexes their muscles tonight.
Well, Graham Smith, the quarterback of Hammond, has been doing a really, really good job. We talked about him. He's been recruited at a high level before that bad car accident. He was out of football for a while. His dad, I believe, was a dentist in town, moved down, and now they're at Hammond and doing a great job. Lexington, the game that you were at early before you came over here to Harry Perone, Josh Stepp, this team is looking better and better each and every week. They get a big win over Lugoff Elgin and Matthew Campbell's team.
Yeah, even in the rain, they looked great tonight. I mean, you know, they came out, played really good defense. Lugoff Elgin struggled to move the ball. They just couldn't move the ball on them. Slade Carroll, running back for Lexington, goes for 147 yards tonight, scores a touchdown, but he goes over 3,000 yards for his career. So outstanding job by the senior running back, and he's going to do a good job for them all year. Region play starts next week, so it's going to be big, but this Lexington team's on a roll right now.
Yeah, good team, and I think you talked about the offense. The quarterback don't really have to play so great because they have so many great playmakers around them, but the big deal is the defense. Trey Mitchell and that group is starting to play some better football on the defense side of the ball.
I was impressed with the defensive line tonight. The defensive line did a really good job of stopping Lugoff Elgin's run, and Lugoff Elgin managed to get in the end zone late, but 6 points against the Lexington team despite the weather. Pretty good football game for the Wildcats, and like I said, region play starts next week, so this is a good way to head into region play.
And speaking of Lexington, they defeated a Blythewood team, right? And we thought this team maybe would take a step back, but no. Blythewood, the Bengals are bouncing back just right down the road. They were in action against South Florence tonight. David Israel, the quarterback, has been playing really, really good football. They had a big win last week in the last closing of the fourth quarter, but they got it done, and they get it done tonight. What about Dan Morgan and the Blythewood Bengals? They'll be around this field next week.
Yeah, they'll be on this field next week. Heading into region play with a great win over a good South Florence team. David Israel, you mentioned, accounted for 3 touchdowns tonight in that Blythewood game. He's on fire right now. That Blythewood team is talented. You look at that roster. You watch those kids get off the bus and warm up. They're one of the scariest teams in the state to watch warm up.
Yeah.
And so if they play to their potential, they can beat anybody.
And finally, the game that we're at tonight, where we are right now, we just heard from Coach Robin Bacon. What a game this was. But again, mistakes. He talked about that. They lose in overtime. Another heartbreaking loss. You can see that Coach Bacon was just feeling sad for his team, trying to keep those guys up.
Yeah, he was. And you know, this was a great game. I mean, White Knoll, what a great job. You know, we don't talk a lot about White Knoll. They kind of quietly do what they've done, but they're one of the top teams in the Midlands area. And you look at what they do. Bart Miller, the offensive coordinator, does a great job with that. Dean Howell's put together a super staff. And even though they're kind of quiet in the media, they got to be considered one of the better teams in the Midlands right now.
Absolutely. When we come back, we'll hear from some coaches that's going to play tomorrow. A big game, Airport in Swansea. They're in studio with me. Kurt Burnett, Coach Lee Part. We got that coming up. We're live from Spring Valley, Harry Perone Stadium.
When the pawning man was told he dialed the wrong number, the pawning man informed the listener, "No, you picked up the wrong phone."
I don't always pawn, but when I do, I go to Decker's Jewelry and pawn. Keep pawning, my friends.
Love that backyard grill taste? Try the Grilled Chicken Club, only at Chick-fil-A.
That's me. Ah, yes!
Can't stop it.
Oh, your mom likes my posts.
You're friends with my mother?
Oh.
Another episode?
Definitely.
We all use it differently, so why should we get it all the same way? Call Time Warner Cable to get the internet speed you need.
Are you guys texting each other?
For the right price.
Yeah.
From $14.99 everyday low price internet to 50 meg internet, we have you covered. Even with Wi-Fi at home and on the go. Plans start at $14.99 per month. Call 1-855-1TWC to switch today. Time Warner Cable.
Now through Monday only. Stop, look, then shop Rooms to Go and pick from 100 beautiful rooms under $1,000. Don't wait. Furnish your home in your style right now with beautiful living rooms under $1,000, dining rooms under $1,000, bedrooms under $1,000, 100 great rooms under $1,000. And check this out. Finance for $20 or less per month, interest-free. That's now through Monday only at Rooms to Go. Don't miss it.
Sharks have a week dedicated to him. He is a pawning man.
I don't always pawn, but when I do, I go to Decker's Jewelry and pawn. Keep pawning, my friends.
You're watching Chick-fil-A Overtime with me, Corey Miller, on Watch Fox. And welcome back to your Chick-fil-A Overtime live at Spring Valley. Harry Perone Stadium, Corey Miller, Jim Baxter with you. Again, thanks to Spring Valley head coach Robin Bacon for sitting in with us in the first segment. There's some games that's going to be played tomorrow, Jim, even though the game's kind of been moved around. Of course, weather's always going to be an issue this time of year sometimes with storms coming through. But one game I do want to talk about is Airport in Swansea. Kurt Burnett, a big win over AC Florida last week, and there were some questionable calls in that game that they kind of went back and revisited. They get a win. AC Florida comes back and tied the game up. Excuse me, could have tied it up, but they went for two to try to win the game. Do you agree with that decision?
Well, I mean, based on why they went for two, yes. I mean, he, like I said, Coach Shaw felt like his defense was banged up, and he didn't think that they would be able to stop Airport in an overtime. So, you know, you go for the win while you have a chance. You got the momentum, you know, you just scored. So you try to get the two-point conversion win so you don't have to face them in overtime.
Well, Airport, the Eagles are undefeated. They're 5-0. Kurt Burnett said today, you know, hey, sometimes it's crazy to figure out how we got things done, but we got it done anyhow. His son is injured, but we expect him to play tomorrow against Swansea. They stopped by the studio early on today in our Coach's Corner. Here's what Kurt Burnett had to say.
We have not played well against Florida the last few years. We finally got some guys that look more like you, a little bit bigger, stronger, more physical up front on both sides of the ball. But there again, we got lucky and had some fortunate plays and ended up winning the ball game.
He said he was lucky, but they won. Luck counts in this game of football, right? But they playing a team in Swansea. They love running the football. They got a mobile quarterback, a dual threat guy, maybe one of the best running backs in the state, at least in the Midlands. And they're looking to challenge and try to knock Airport off their hot seat. So we'll see. But Coach Leapart talked about that today, about facing Airport.
Well, Chance Walker plays quarterback for us, and he's a dual threat quarterback, and he's done some great things for us running the football, scored a lot of touchdowns, gained a lot of yards. Quavon Cannon is our running back in the backfield with him. They've made a good pair for us this year. It's what we hang our hat on, and that and our big boys up front, the O-line's done a good job to help make those guys be successful too.
He talked about Cannon, Jim. He talked about the ability to run the football. That's what they hang their hat on. They're a running football team. I did ask him about throwing the football. He said, hey, you know what, we'll do it when we need to throw it. But right now we got two guys that can get it done at the quarterback position and Cannon at the running back position.
Yeah, Chance Walker, one of the best in town. So he's going to be a handle for Airport. They're going to have to button down the defense and kind of not give up the edge to him.
So what do you think about real quickly about his son playing injured? He wants to play, and he's going to let him try.
I don't know the extent of the injury. I don't know, you know, exactly what's going on with him. He's got a brace. If he's stable, if he's got quad strength in his leg, I mean, I think you know, it's a decision he makes. I mean, there's a lot of guys out there that play with that injury with the brace on. Yeah, you know, if you have a tear, you're not gonna do any more damage to it as long as it's braced. Frankly, I thought Josh Tucker did a great job last week, moved the ball well against AC Florida. Maybe he thinks having Brett in there gives him a chance through the air a little bit better.
Now, Dreer and Lower Richland is a team that they're going to play Monday night, so that game has been moved. This is going to be a good football team with Larry Mitchell. The wide receiver is really, really good. But this is going to be an interesting game on a Monday night, but we'll talk about that later on. But we got to hit a break right now, live at Harry Perone. In the chilly weather with the wind, but we do have Chick-fil-A here. That's all that matters. We'll come back with our Chick-fil-A Overtime in just a moment.
I'll have your out-the-door forecast tomorrow morning starting at 5.
You're watching Chick-fil-A Overtime on Watch Fox in Columbia, South Carolina.
Love that backyard grill taste? Try the Grilled Chicken Club, only at Chick-fil-A.
It feels like you're talking to family. They know your name and they ask about your family.
It's where you feel like people actually listen to you and people actually know you and care about you.
You feel like the world stops for you to take care of whatever business you need for the day.
It's almost like they want to know what's my next financial transaction because they want to be a part of it.
It's like a family. It really is.
I'm David.
I'm Amy.
I'm Eric.
I'm Gloria.
I'm David.
I'm Lisa.
And I'm a proud Palmetto citizen.
Now through Monday only. Stop, look, then shop Rooms to Go and pick from 100 beautiful rooms under $1,000. Don't wait. Furnish your home in your style right now with beautiful living rooms under $1,000, dining rooms under $1,000, bedrooms under $1,000, 100 great rooms under $1,000. And check this out. Finance for $20 or less per month, interest-free. That's now through Monday only at Rooms to Go. Don't miss it.
Home Decor Outlets has been contracted by top manufacturers to sell off existing inventory. Microfiber sectionals for $1.99 each piece. 4-poster Emperor Queen bed for only $4.99, or get the complete 11-piece set for $18.99. 3-piece Queen bed for just $1.99. Buy one, get one recliners from $3.99. 5-piece dining set for only $2.99. Queen mattresses $2.99. Home Decor Outlets.
You're watching Chick-fil-A Overtime with me, Corey Miller, on Watch Fox. Welcome back to Chick-fil-A Overtime. Corey Miller, Jim Baxter here, Harry Perron Stadium. Again, you can see very windy, very breezy. It's wet, but the game, it took place tonight. They got finished with a really thrilling game for Spring Valley. Overtime loss 28-21 to White Knoll. White Knoll doing a really good job of winning games, kind of some ugly games, but they're getting it done. A lot of different teams, Jim, that's doing well in the Midlands. You know, we always talk about our top 5 and who's the best, and it's hard when you're talking about different levels of high school football, 1A to 4A, and you throw in skis in that. So, and every week we try to figure out who's the best teams in the Midlands.
No, you try to figure it out.
You know who they are, right? Maybe I'm trying to figure it out, but sometimes it's hard to do, right? It's hard to figure those out. So we like to have fun with this segment, so I want you to kick it off right now. That's your camera. Who is Jim Baxter's top 5 team in the Midlands?
You're going to the right. The comedy comes second. Yeah. All right. Number 1, Lexington Wildcats. Went and watched them tonight. Dynamic team, offense and defense. They're still number 1. I still have Blythewood number 2. Big win over South Lawrence tonight. I still have Westwood number 3. No change from last week. And Airport at 4. Chapin at 5. No change in the top 5, in Jim's top 5, because they're all still winning.
Chapin at number 5, even though they're undefeated. Nobody has beaten them. They've been blowing people away.
We went through this last week.
You want to give folks like Logan Bailey, Mr. Football, and you got them
I think
at
he
number
is.
5.
I think right now, if you give Mr. Football today, you give it to Logan Bailey.
And you got them the 5th best team in the Midlands, which is crazy to me. That Chapin is at number 5.
You can have the best team, or you can have the best player on the field and still not have the best team on the field.
Well, let's get to reality, shall we, right here at Harry Perron Stadium. Here's the Pastor Picks top 5, again, presented by my good friend Tim House, the Warehouse, my former teammate. I shot him out. Number 1, Chapin. You got him at last. I put him at first. Logan Bailey. Those guys are getting it done. They didn't play last week, but that's okay. They needed a week off. How they've been beating people. This is a good offensive team. They play solid defense, special teams, and maybe the most passionate fan base in the Midlands. You agree with that?
There's a lot of passionate fan bases in the Midlands. I'm not going to just give that to Chapin.
Number 2 is Airport High School. Kurt Burnett, you talked about their speed. They're getting it done. Guys been hurt in and out of the lineups. They still win. They find a way to win. They muddy up the water. It doesn't matter. Airport finds a way to win. They're number 2. Number 3, the Lexington Wildcats. Josh Stepp, I like what they're doing. We knew that this was going to be a good football team. A ton of offensive talent all over the place. And I like the fact that Trey Mitchell and that defense is starting to find themselves and play some better football. Number 4, Tom Knotts. Welcome back into the Pastor's Picks, baby. They won 3 in a row, Jim. People were going crazy after they lost the first 2 to Greenwood and Goose Creek. What's wrong with Tom Knotts? What's wrong with Dutch Fork? Nothing. Wins over Dorman, and last week they drug Sopter. This team is getting better every week. Stephen Davis Jr. out, the best player perhaps. they are still finding a way to win. What about the quarterback? He's starting to play some good football as well. And number 5, that team right down the road that will be here next week, like with the Bengals, Dan Morgan, they're getting it done. I like Israel at quarterback. I like the running back. They're playing solid defense. And when you're talking about the true, the real top 5 in the Midlands, it's the POP Pastor Picks, baby. Tim House,
You got them
the
all
warehouse.
mixed up. You got them all mixed up.
That's what it is, man. I mean, you need to go back when we get off this show and sit at your computer and sit down and revisit some of these
Mine'll probably
names.
be the same next week.
Yeah, that's right, because you don't change every week.
Because they keep
change.
winning. They keep winning.
They change. And there's some teams out there, like White
So
Dog.
you're telling me right now, you're number 1, Chapin,
Best team
gets
in the
on the field against Lexington,
Best
my
team
number
in the
1.
Midlands.
Who wins that game?
You can't judge it by that because it's high school at different levels.
Who would you pick in that game right now?
It depends on where it's at. It's at Chapin, I
give
go
me a
with Coach
break.
Gentry and the Eagles.
That's Lexington's game.
I mean, you
Lexington
can't. That's
won.
like me saying, hey, if Lexington played Hammond, who could easily be in our top 5, but they're not. But that's a Skeezer team. That's an unfair comparison. It's oranges to apple. You can't do that.
Yes, sure you can. This is not Little League. Everybody's not getting a juice box and cookies, man. There's
Well,
only
let's talk
5
quick,
spots.
or whatever. Let's talk about finishing. What team, we threw halfway of the season, right? Which team would you say got the best chance of finishing strong? Like that's going to take it to the next level? Which team would you say?
If I had to pick, and they're not in the top 5, but if I had to pick a team in the Midlands that's got the best chance of getting to a state championship, I'd pick Batesburg-Leesville in 2A classification.
Really?
Yeah. I think Batesburg's strong. Tough region they're in. You know, Saluta's unbeaten in that region. You got Abbeville up there. Strom-Thurman's still playing good football. That's a strong region. But I like Batesburg-Leesville as having the best chance to get to a state title game.
I like Dutch Fork. I don't know. That swag is back with Dutch Fork. I believe that those losses actually helped them to get better down the stretch. They've been hurt. They're one of the most beat-up teams in high school football. I like what Dutch Fork is doing. I think watch out for Dutch Fork down the stretch. And the team that's maybe going the opposite way real quick, who's that?
Team going the opposite way. Well, I would have to say right now AC Flora. I mean, AC Flora with the loss tonight to Camden, they're 0-1 now in region play and banged up. So they got some pretty tough games coming up, and they're kind of limping into that competition.
Yeah, that's a good one. I don't know. I hate to say this, but it's reality. Spring Valley's going in the wrong direction. But I do think they're going to bounce back. I like what Coach Bacon is doing. They got to find a way to finish football games. They turned it over tonight. I thought they would win this game tonight. But, man, they just found a way to somehow make that crucial mistake to give up a touchdown right there at the end of the game and then lost in overtime. Well, folks, it's been an awesome, awesome night. Great high school football on Thursday night. We got a ton coming up tomorrow night that we'll be covering. And we love doing this. And it takes a lot of help. Amberlynn Pennycuff, Kevin, Alex in the truck, the folks, Rachel, Sophia, Derek, and all those people back in the studio. Thank you for the Baxter. I'm the Pastor of Payne. Have a great Chick-fil-A overtime night. We'll see you.